UG Project Award. As a senior member of IEEE and an active member of professional societies like IEEE Women in Engineering, IEEE Circuits and Systems Society, and IEEE Remote Sensing Society, Dr. Shiba Rani continues to inspire innovation and excellence in her field. We are fortunate to have her with us today to share her knowledge and insights. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. J. Shiba Rani as she takes us through this enlightening session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Shall I share the session? Thank you. So today, my topic of lecture is on fundamentals of cyber threat reduction. And my warm welcome to all participants. There is an overwhelming interest in this cyber threat reduction. I can see through the number of participants in the under the people, right? 257 or more than 257 participants are there. It's good. There is a great interest in the cyber security or cyber threat reduction. That is the need of the hour. So irrespective or independent of the areas in which we are working, for all areas nowadays, all it is connected through networks. And we know we are in the era of information, communication, and technology. We are in the era of cyber physical systems. So whatever applications we are doing, unknowingly or knowingly, it is linked through a network or it is linked through a cyber physical system. So it requires security. So all of us, irrespective of the discipline, we require some basic understanding of the security need, especially in the cyber environment. So with that in mind, let me go through my slide. So fundamentals of cyber threat reduction. So I'm also not a very good expert on this cyber threat reduction, but whatever based on the topic of fundamentals of cyber threat reduction techniques, we can see some insights of the fundamentals and also now what techniques we are using in today are the state of the art cyber threat reduction techniques also on two informations we can see. So the content of my presentation is introduction, importance of cyber threat reduction, types of cyber threat, and basic cyber threat reduction techniques. And also today we are using some of the techniques, that means some of the words for the cyber threat reduction, cyber funding, cyber intelligence, and also the challenges and conclusions. So we can go into the introduction. So I have introduced some terminologies, even though we all know about these terminologies. Just to recap and recollect, it will be helpful for you to understand the further things. So the first and important terminology we are using in this cyber security or cyber threat environment is information, communication, and technologies. So as we know, are technologies that allow for the collection, storage, processing, transmission, and dissemination of information. Next is cyberspace. Cyberspace is a virtual world created by the internet and other digital technologies that allow people to interact, share information, and conduct business. So this is an important virtual environment. And this cyberspace, based on the applications, it interface with cyber physical system. So what is cyber physical system? it integrates the computation with physical processes. So whatever we are just communicating and doing, that it ends up with some physical processes, means some sensors or IoTs or like that. So it will be taking some actions based on that. So that we are saying it is cyber physical systems. So cyber physical systems require some embedded processes, IoTs, a central control unit to control all these informations. But yes, physical systems requires a good cyber security environment. We can also say a cyberspace also requires a secure environment. So the outset is the superset of all is information communication technologies. So cyberspace, cyber physical system, all will come under the umbrella of information communication technologies. So with this, next I'm introducing some fundamental terminologies under cyberspace, cybersecurity. So a set of technical, legal, and organizational measures that protect computer systems, networks, and personal data. So the main thing of any cyber security system is that suppose we are going to design a cyber security system in our virtual environment, means what is the objective? To ensure that confidentiality, integrity, and availability of digital data. So these are the three major objectives. If you are designing if you are defining or designing a cyber security environment, so we have to win the confidentiality, maintain the integrity and availability of digital data. That means without any uh, um, attacks or without any tampering of the data or like that, it has to be available. Next, we are saying cyber ethics is a code of shared rules and ethics that individuals on cyberspace, and it has to be believed to follow. So Indian government, we are having cyber ethics. So we are saying it is shared rules, code of shared rules. Next, we are saying cyber law. It is a mandate, it is a law. Governments have introduced cyber laws to curb illegal activities that occur in cyberspace, such as money laundering, identity theft, and illegal trade. So now we are talking about cyber security, fine, but some insight of that we can see. So next terminology we are going to see is when you're just going about cyberspace, cyber security, then we know adversaries are also there. We are making a virtual environment for a particular purpose, for the sake of communication, storage, and for processing operating a physical system. So many things we are doing for different applications are there. But now we have another one person who is called adversary. So he is called as an intruder and also hacker. So who is an intruder? Unauthorized individuals or entities who want to obtain access to a network or system to breach its security. You know this. Hacker is anyone who utilizes their abilities. So intruder and hacker is a subset of intruder. Who utilizes his knowledge or ability to investigate, modify, or upgrade technology systems regardless of authority. So the main thing is that today the hackers or the intruders or the adversaries are more knowledgeable in the environment. In the immense knowledge and an in-depth understanding of technology and security makes them to intrude into a secured environment, even if it's a three-layer protected or a two-layer protected environment, right? They can able to hack it. They can able to breach the codes or the secured environments like that. The only thing is that the hackers are more having knowledge and in-depth understanding. So today the need of the hour is that as we are making some environments for our purpose. So first thing is that we have to critically think on the worst effects of if there is a security breach in the environment, what will happen, how it will happen. All these thoughts of critical thinking is very much required, like a hacker, when we are designing the cyber secured environment, right? That is the main aim today, because the hacker or the intruder is also using machine learning, artificial intelligence. We also, that for protecting our environment, cyber threat reduction, cyber threat classification, cyber threat defense, then we, for all these things, we are also using nowadays, today it's machine learning, artificial intelligence. So how good we can mimic the environment as a using machine learning or artificial intelligence is the major task. So that is also one important thing. So now next type of thing is types of intruders. So 3 types of intruders is there in the literature. So masquerader, right? Same thing as an intruder, the category of individuals that are not authorized to use the system, but still exploit users' privacy and confidential information by possessing techniques that give them control over the system without the knowledge of us, right? They will be just taking control of that. So those people, intruders, are called masquerader. Then misfeasor, a category of individuals that are unauthorized to use the system but misuse the granted access and privilege. It can be an internal intruder, internal attacker. We have 2 types of attackers. One is internal attacker, another one is external attacker. The misfeasor will come as an internal attacker because the privilege given to the attacker, to the actor, right, is misused because the granted access is misused for his self motive. Then we are saying clandestine user, right? This is your administrative level, administrator, computer system group administrator, right? He is using his authority, misuse power given to him. So why this is classified like that? We will be seeing the cyber threat or the cyber attacks are coming only from the external attackers. It's not so today, right? The security is also breached by the people in which we are having confidence. This is normal, a human, the same thing which is happening in the ICTs, right? So it is just classified like that. Now I am just going to give some insight of cyber crimes, because mainly today the cyber attacks are happening with because of some motives. Okay, you see that cyber crimes have turned out to be a low investment, low risk business with huge returns. This is actually an important thing, that why people are trying, or mentally they are spending their intelligence and time and power to break a network which is meant for some purpose, is that it is a low risk business because they don't lose anything, but the system in which they are making an attack, they'll be losing a lot, right? But today the cyber laws and cyber ethics are in place. If there is a breach in the cyber law, or if the people who are, they are not following these laws, so there is, we are having laws, they will be putting in jail, making them to be some sort of penalties also there. So you see that, like our normal network security teams, how we are working to insist the security, here also the hierarchy is like that. A criminal boss, who is the actual brain, underboss, campaign manager, right? Stolen data reseller, stolen data reseller, stolen data reseller. Like that, these are the people who are in the with the customers. Okay. So some people want some data, so they will be breaching the security and taking the data and selling. So who's the criminal boss, they're saying, right? So you now you have remembered the attack, the Lebanon pager attack. It is not coming under cyber attacks, okay? But just to think of that, you see, a pager was supplied because that Lebanon, they won't use the normal communication devices. They use only pages, like that the news, the history says that. So year by year, for a long term, some companies are supplying these pages. But knowingly or unknowingly, right, the pages, or the pages inside the pages, something is kept, right? And from a remote place, it was just turned on to blow out the pager, which caused some ill-fated effects to most of the Lebanese who are using this pager. But it's not a cyber attack, I'm saying. That I will say, which attack, it is not a cyber attack, but it is nothing but a hardware, like in the hardware, they have chamfered and kept something, some control they have given, and it was blasted, right? It was blasted. So like that, some criminal boss. That's why for the definition of criminal boss, I am saying that. Criminal boss, underboss. The criminal box can be an internal attacker, which has the all the info like pager who is manufacturing that. They are having those information. Without their knowledge, nothing can be kept inside, right? Like that I'm saying, but it's not a cyber attack. But I'm saying this. So this is actually, so we have to be very careful, right? So nowadays a big business is going on. I came to hear that some of the recruitments in many of the countries as a computer operator or like that, youngsters were hired and they were put in big companies like that. The main companies are there. They want to crack or hack the networks and they have to earn money for the company, right? So these are things, it's laundering, money laundering, network is huge. So that's why the motivation of the adversaries, who is the intruders, who it is given here. I don't know whether this slide is visible or not, right? Cyber attack motivation, you see? So intellectual property theft mainly, right? Revenge is one of the thing. Extortion, right? Politics, okay? Financial gain, nowadays it's happening. Espionage, then hacking, right? That means we are saying that for some self-motiveness, we are just making it, hacking it, and making them operate so that they lose lot of money or like that. Sabotage. Next is intellectual property. So sometimes we hear that some countries, right, China and all, they'll be having US and China, they had a deal. And mainly, I have read an article that so oh, that US and Chinese were exchanging something at the time. Uh, Indirectly or directly, they have captured the data. Chinese have captured the data from the US or like some news. It's not, I'm saying, it's like that intellectual property theft, right? And they'll be claiming that it is right, it between nations to nations or in between like that. That's why there is a intellectual property rights, IP. So every product or everything when we are doing, we'll be just registering with the IP. So these are the motivation of the adversaries. So this is taken from the comprehensive review on cybersec. Moderate there. This I can make it okay. So now just to make you have an interest, right? You can go and see that what happens to this. Okay, recent cyber attacks and data breaches in 2024. So all in not in India, but we can see. So these are all in big companies. You see in Microsoft, 2.4 terabyte data leak caused by Microsoft's misconfigurations. But this misconfiguration is who did that, how? So it is really how it is like that. People, a question was there, right? So now you see, Conti Costa Rica ransomware attack. So we know we learn what is ransomware attack. Okay. So data of more than 200 million Twitter users is leaked. You see that if these data are leaked, what happened? Right? Lot of things, confidential, lot of data, if it is leaked, means it will be a huge benefit for the adversaries, right? It is a huge loss for the users, right? So inside Slack's GitHub account hack. Slack is a company, right? So GitHub account hack and all the it is. So we are, do you hear me? Is it could you hear? Hello?
Ma'am?
Hello? Ah, yes. My network has
Okay.
gone. That's why I checked that whether it is okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Fine.
So with this, we can go into this. So just to make you that, is it anything happen in India? This I have taken it from your website, right? So you see that reported cyber crimes in India, 2020 to 2021, you see. A breach of Prime Minister Modi's Twitter allowed hackers to tweet from the account that India officially adopted Bitcoin as legal
Ma'am,
tender. Yes.
excuse me, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Presentation is not visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Now is it visible?
Ah,
Yes, no?
no, ma'am.
Just, no?
No, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Ah, yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, it may be network problem, that's why it is taking time.
Yeah, it's late.
So you see
Okay,
that
ma'am.
reported cyber crimes in India. Okay, just for you that what is happening in and around that. Okay, February 2024, roughly 190 megabytes of data from a Chinese cybersecurity company were exposed online, revealing the company's espionage efforts on the governments of the United Kingdom, India, Indonesia, and Taiwan. See, this has happened, right? So what are the dealings between China and India? All the details get 190 megabytes of data. Okay, now you see December 2021, a breach of Prime Minister Modi's Twitter allowed hackers to tweet from the account that India officially adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. You see what is the fake news they have spread. The hacker has hacked the account, Twitter account of Prime Minister Modi ji's thing, and it has made the tweet also included a scam link promising a Bitcoin giveaway. So lot of Minister of India read the fall in some traps or like that to purchase or to invest in Bitcoins or like that. So it's a huge loss actually, right? So you see that another one thing, November 2022, hackers, this is a small cyber hackers disrupted operations at an Indian hospital by cutting off access to its online networks and patient records. See, these are the small things are also happening. So how a small system, right? A local system, here it is a local hospital, which has maybe many number of units, which is linked through a cyber physical system, right? This is also happening. This is for a self motive for gaining some money, right? Or some extortion or some political motive or like that. Okay. Then in actual network layers or networks, denial of service, okay, direct denial of service attacks is also happening. So we will be sending some data and accessing for something, but because of the attacks, we couldn't able to access it. So this is an important September 2023, you see, an Indian cybersecurity firm uncovered plans from Pakistani and Indonesian hacking groups to disrupt the G20 summit in India. See how the master plan has been there. So the activities are expected to use the denial of service attacks and mass defacement in their attacks, which are presumed to be the latest development in the activities battle between these nations, according to the firm's research. Okay. Another one is financial. May 2023, you see, India's Insurance Information Bureau fell victim to a ransomware attack. Okay. Hackers encrypted nearly 30 server systems and demanded $250,000 in Bitcoin. So these are the things which is happening also. Right, I have also made, you see, this is also a cyber physical system. Last one, March 2024, you see, India's government and energy sectors was breached in a cyber espionage campaign. Hackers sent a malicious file disguised as a letter from India's Royal Air Force to officers responsible for India's electronic communication. So many things are parallel incidents which is happening in and out, especially Korea, right? So many of the attacks is coming from Pakistan cyberspace. So it is coming, and also from China. So India is facing, Indian hackers are also there. They are trying to hack or like that. It's not that only those nations are. It's not like that. Hackers are everywhere. We are highly intelligent to do that, right? For some people it is a hobby that they'll be trying to do, but after that they fell into as a trap of they will be addicted in that. Okay. So cyber crimes in India, statistical view, you see, these are all important that we should know that how much importance we have to give for this area. So government or a nation or a world requires more people, more intelligent people to work on this area, because still there is an open research that every day unsolved issues are coming in this. That means because the hackers are more intelligent, they are just attacking with new attacks. That system or the cyber security environment, the cyber security people, they couldn't able to overcome that. Okay, so that's why you see that the number of cyber crimes increased from 9.7 lakh in 2022 to 11.5 lakh because people are more aware, so they're complaining, that's fine. Financial frauds for about 60% of all. So among this 9.7 for 11.5, the frauds is about 60% in the financial. So you see that how much security we have to spend. Okay, so this I have already told you. So I don't want to explain inside attack. So we required an internal intrusion detection system, right? Any network is having this IDS, right? So external attack also, we are saying some firewalls or like that we see. So we can go cyber security techniques. These are the common techniques that any cyber environment is following, right? Authentication, encryption, digital signatures, antivirus, firewall, steganography, coded informations we are transmitting and we are receiving, right? So these are the common ways that we'll be going for. So any network, any institutions or organizations, all are following this authentication, right? We'll be provided with a password, and when we are having that password only, we can able to open it. Nowadays, we are using a two-way authentication. As you all know, in my institutes and all, we are using a two-way authentication. Two-way authentication means first we will be opening our Wi-Fi or network. In Wi-Fi networks, how we are opening is that we'll be opening our Wi-Fi networks and asking for the password or whatever it is, right? Then it will be going into that. Then another one, a network layer, a network system will be enabled, which may be a third party port token, like that it will be open. And there you have another one, code word, a security key will be generated. Then that security key, I have to take it and put it in my Wi-Fi. When I'm opening, it will be asking that what is your token code or like that. Then again, I have to put the token code, then only it will accept. So it is nothing but two-way authentications. Or you know about another things, right? Authentication means when we are our institutions and organizations, when we are going thumb and ID card, right? Both we are saying that is also a two-way authentication. It's a network securities, and we are saying that this is password with our own password, then also another one token which is generated by to validate that whether we are the users. But if the hacker knows those techniques, there may be possibility of intrusion, right? Encryption, that means we know it is an encrypted code, but we are also making some digital signatures and we are verifying with that, and we are, so these are all common, right? Nowadays we antivirus, then firewall between two networks, right? Steganography, right? Steganography is that we'll be just making like a marking, right? And we are sending those informations, right? Now you see, now we are going for, so we have seen about cyber security terminologies and what is the need for why cyber crimes are happening, right? Some of the terminologies or intruders, characteristics of intruders and hackers we have seen. And we have also seen that any cybersecurity has intrusion detection systems. That's fine. But now we have to learn about cyber threats classification. So now hacker is there, intruder is there. What are the different basic attacks that intruder is trying to do, right? So from this, so you see this also I have taken it from the comprehensive survey of that paper previously I have mentioned. That figure, the courtesy goes to that, okay? So cyber threats, you see, first one we are saying malware. Okay, malware, ransomware, phishing attacks, advanced persistent threats, supply chain attacks, and Internet of Things. These are the, now we are saying these are the 6 attacks. Sometimes people are saying also 7. Social engineering attacks also come under this only, ransomware. Right, phishing attacks is called social engineering attacks like that. So participants, they can also interact, right? Amada madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Participants there, it's in mute or they can also interact?
They can also interact. Shall we open now, ma'am?
No, that's why I'm
Okay.
asking whether
Okay.
instead of
If you want the interaction, no, I'll give unmute on.
oh, you have to give like that. Okay. So
Ah.
just I am going in a monotonic way. So okay.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
but
Okay,
who
ma'am.
are the
I,
participants from computer science? People might have learned these basics. That's why my intention is. But the participants are from various disciplines, right? Because as my
yes, ma'am.
topic is on fundamentals of cyber threat, that's why I am just making like a normal lecture, right?
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Oh,
I'll make. I'll
uh,
make unmute me.
uh, uh, uh. Okay, that we can.
Okay, ma'am. You proceed.
Okay. So till now, participants, whatever I have taken, it is all basics only, right? So any discussion we can initiate at this time? Anyone? Okay, we can proceed. So now you see cyber threats. I'll go that what is actually, right? Malware, malicious software. So you know it's a software code that is written intentionally to harm a computer system or its users. Yes, yes. Any questions? Or discussions, anything? Okay.
Ma'am, please
Uh,
check your chat box, ma'am.
okay.
Questions,
Because when
questions are there.
in Teams, the problem is when we are displaying the presentation, then at that time chat we have to come out and see. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what is the question is not visible, not visible, and we are saying that what is steganography, right? So yes, so we are saying that stegno, we are saying it is a code word. Okay. So graphy. So when we are just making normally like watermarking or like that, what we will do, we'll be just going for sending the data with your background symbol, which is not known to anybody, right? So we'll be just making like that. So one type of storing the information. So like that, we'll be hiding the information, right? In an outset, we won't see the information, but we'll be transmitting the information inside a non-informative thing. So suppose you are sending one image. Image is not an information, but under that image, you will be hiding some information and transmitting. Okay. So stegno means Stegno means covered or hidden. So it's a steganography. Okay. So it is not that image processing techniques, or we can say, right? It is general term is that we can say hiding some information. Generally, we'll be talking about image means we'll be hiding the information inside the image. How will you hide? Suppose if I'm having an image we know that 8-bit representation means the last bits are very less informative. So that less informative details we'll manipulate and stuff our data or like that, and we will transmit or like this, right? So we are saying that it's some sort of technique for hiding information so that one people who knows the code to how to retrieve the data, only they can able to retrieve it. Okay. Okay. Cryptography. Okay. So shall I proceed now? Good. So some interaction is there, means it will be good, right? So malware. So we have now seen cyber threats, you see, malware, because these are all very critical attacks or threats. Ransomware, common, but everywhere it is used, but still it is having an unsolved problem. Every malware, you see, malicious software. So people are making, hackers are making, or intruders are making very, what to say, complex codes, which will be corrupting the system without knowing that we don't know that which is corrupted. But after it is seriously get affected, only we can able to see. Malware is constantly evolving. That's the main challenge. Malware is constantly evolving and presents significant threat to computer systems. Poses security analysis to keep pace by improving cyber defenses. So whenever we are having a threat, automatically the first level is that we should have a defense mechanism. And next is that validation of the cyber threat, and next only defense mechanism, right? Now you see malware types. So we have all heard some of the words. Depending on the purposes, malware can be divided into various categories. Virus, right? This we know. Worm, self-replicates and propagates copies of itself to other devices over a network. Okay. Adware, generates or displays unsolicited online advertisements on user screen. So this is called adware, advertisement, right? Ransomware, locks down an infected device and demands payment to unlock it. Ransomware. These are all malware types. Backdoor, allows unauthorized access to functionality. Trojan, we know now Trojan is a hard research is going on, right? A class of backdoor malware disguised as legitimate software to trick users into installing it. So this is a software Trojan. Okay. Software Trojan, we are not aware that it's a Trojan. It disguised as a known person or a legitimate environment it will create. So we don't know that. If you're not alert, or if you don't know about the environment, it will easily corrupt, right? What distributes malware to other device and is typically part of network. Here you see worm also self-replicate and propagate copies of itself to other devices over a network, right? Keyloggers captures keystrokes. See that biometrics also we are saying. They'll be to capture our passwords or whatever it is. Rootkit gains root level access to conceal the existence of other malware, right? Logic bomb explodes when a condition occurs. So these malware types, sometimes logic bomb occurs. What they will do is that they will fully collapse the entire system, and further we can't use it. The motive is that with the political motive or some what to say, the extortion. This will happen in the place of extortion, right? So making fearing us, and like this logic bomb explodes will happen. So these are the different types of malwares. So you see, automated malware
One
detection.
question, ma'am. Give one example of Trojan.
Okay, now if you say, now you see this, my screen is visible.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Wait 1 minute. So what is Trojans? Okay. So now you see, for example, in a secured environment. Inside that, right, we'll be having a program which is embedded on the particular environment. But when you are seeing that program, we will see that. But when you are seeing that, we couldn't able to say that it is not the one that we required in this program. Okay, but it will be looking an appearance of a legitimate software. For example, if you see, we are having some softwares we are just uploading or installing in our environment. We are just serving in the net like that, like pseudo products which is available in the form. Suppose we are buying products, there are so company items are there and some pseudo products which is available. Nowadays we couldn't able to differentiate, right? Like that, now they will be introducing along with the main program these Trojans. The Trojans will be secretly eavesdropping or it will be secretly corrupting our data. One fine morning, right, what happens is that it has completely corrupted our data and our entire system will get stuck. There are Trojans are having software Trojans, hardware Trojans. Hardware Trojans are very critical. Software Trojans too. Hardware Trojans means what? Suppose if you are buying a CPU from other place, okay, other country. Hi, so now Intel, IBM, all those things, they're making CPUs, right? Suppose we are buying a CPU for a defense purpose. The question is whether we will trust a CPU from other countries for our defense application. Yes or no? Let me come to the chat box. Okay, 1 minute, I will just message. So my question, have you got it? No, the answer is no, right? So the answer is no means we can't trust on the third party CPUs to put it in our system for defense applications. Why? We don't know that what type of devices they have put. All right. So there may be some hardware which will be not malfunctioning for our normal function, but it will be helping to get the data which is processed in the particular CPUs so that, like that Lebanon pager attacks like that. So at one point when such data are got collected by the adversary, automatically he can make a big bomb attack, bomb in the sense that it hit the entire system will get cracked. So that is, we are saying Trojans, okay? Hardware Trojans are like that. Software Trojans, hardware Trojans. So nowadays there are for getting Trojan attacks. Nowadays Trojan attacks in hardware is taking place through power, because power only we are taking from the external source, right? So there will be based on the power patterns, how we are utilizing the power patterns, right? The intruder will be hacking the information. You see that in hardwares. So CPU we are using, suppose a CPU is used for, a particular application, then the particular application will be doing in a routine way. In a routine way, the power which is consumed, the pattern will be of same. For certain computational complex applications, the power will be more. Rather, it will be like that. So these attacks we are calling in hardware Trojans is side channel analysis attacks, right? So now what about the software updates? Okay, software updates are same thing instead of a hardware, right? We are having a Trojan-like software which mimic or which will be impersonated as the original one, but it won't affect the functionality. Only aim of the Trojan is to detect, make a cyber security threat or a security threat, right? So what it will do is that it will be making, that means collecting the data, and one fine morning it will be making the data breach will happen. So it may be critical or it may be non-critical. Okay. So what about software upgrades? Means in everywhere when you are upgrading these things, what to say that it is not that all the time we'll be having Trojans, right? One way is that sometimes there may be Trojans, virus, worms, right? Based on the applications we'll be having. So intrusion and attack. So intruders, right? They will be intruding it and doing something. After doing something, attack will happen. Right? So first they have to intrude, then attack. While intruding, we have to detect. That is called cyber threat detection. What is the intruder? What is just intruder is doing? Intrusion. Then it is followed by intrusion is also inherently having attacks, or it will be followed by attacks. Okay. Okay, we can go somewhat. Okay, good that you have interacted, right? So automated malware detection versus classification is not our role. What type of, whether it is malware classification systems, because the depth of the security threat is based on what type of malware is there. That's why before deduction, after deduction, it is the need that we have to go for malware classification. It's not only for malware, right? It is also for other threats, right? Okay. Next type of attacks is social. I have named it as social engineering attack. Okay, it is a phishing attack. So social engineering attacks manipulate people into sharing information that they should not share, downloading software that they should not download, visiting websites they should not visit, sending money to criminals, or making other mistakes that compromise their personal or organizational security. Is the leading cause of network compromise today, according to this State of Cybersecurity, the 22 report. That we can see detail what is actually this. Okay, phishing. Phishing attacks are digital or voice messages that try to manipulate recipients into sharing sensitive information. Right? This understood, right? Downloading malicious software, transferring money or assets to the wrong people, or taking some other damaging actions. So phishing attacks are digital or voice messages that try to manipulate recipients into sharing sensitive informations. Okay. Bulk phishing emails. So we are receiving emails. No, that means when some financial fraud people, right, that deposit money and all those things, right? So we'll be having those types of things, right? So now we are saying spear phishing, voice phishing, or phishing. So different types of spear phishing. Really, I want to see that what it is named actually. So voice phishing or V phishing. Voice phishing only it is called as V phishing. Okay. So this phishing attacks mainly it is terms of emails, or it can be terms of voice or like that. And also you see, phishing is the initial attack vector leading to the most costly data breaches. Phishing, search engine phishing. Okay. So we are also there when we are going for these type of phishing, right? So phishing, anybody, all of you have encountered, right? We will be ignoring that messages, right? When we are just sometimes people who are not aware of these things, they will go into that, right? And they will see. Then angler phishing is the it targets cyber threat. It targets the people in social media, right? So it will be targeting. Nowadays, we see so many WhatsApp group people. Once they will be having some business, then they will be also making us as one of the WhatsApp member of all those things. And we don't know that whether that is a genuine WhatsApp group or like that, right? So by taking advantage, what they will do is that taking advantage of the trust, right? So they will be tricking. Normally, we'll be having some customers or some WhatsApp group, which will be a real thing. But using that, they will be tricking and getting the data, or it will be giving a threat to the customer service, right? So the securities get breached. Okay. So that type of phishing also there. So it's phishing means what? Digital or voice messages. Through messages, we are just making it, right? That is called phishing. So this is one of the social attacks. Okay. We are saying it is social engineering attacks. Okay. Okay. Then next. So we are having in this social engineering attacks so many words people are using that people who are really working on cyber security and this cyber threat, right? They are making new names. Okay. So baiting lures, no pun intended. This I have taken it from the internet source, right? No pun intended means that is we'll be using some casual words which has some double meaning or like that. It is called pun, P-U-N. No pun intended. Victims into knowing or unwittingly giving up sensitive information or downloading malicious code by tempting them with a valuable offer. That is called baiting. Okay. Tailgating, piggybacking. An unauthorized person closely follows an authorized person into an area containing sensitive information or valuable assets. These are also having a phishing attack or social attack. Okay. Quid pro quo. Hackers dangle a desirable good or service in exchange for the victim's sensitive information. So they know what we require. So based on that, they will be, that's where quid pro quo, right? This is the name which we are using in all legal things, right? Quid pro quo. That means hackers dangle a desirable good or service in exchange for the victims. This thing. Scareware, right? That uses fear to manipulate people into sharing confidential information. Fake law enforcement. So they'll be saying that impersonating them, saying they are police officers or income tax officers or like that. So human nature is that once we hear these names, right, unknowingly and unknowingly we'll be sometimes saying the truth or like that. So this is by understanding the psychology of the person, right? Could you hear me? Whether my sound is visible? Fake social media accounts, somebody has written. Yes, recently heard about this, ma'am. Fake social media accounts. These are yeah, sweet or to the hackers. Whether my I'm connected or not. Yes, okay,
Ma'am,
thank you.
connected only.
Okay, okay. In between that, just gone, right? So many number of threats are coming, right? So now we can go to the next. Wait 1 minute. My this thing is visible, right? My slide is visible or not? My slide is visible, right? To open again here. Yes, okay, connected. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Next, you see watering hole attack. From the name itself, somebody poisoned the watering hole. Hackers inject malicious code into a legitimate web page that is frequented by their targets. Okay. So in some part, they will be like watering hole attack means water in some place it is water because of pits, right? Some water get logged or like that something, the name was given. So what is the social engineering defense, phishing attacks and all those things? So social engineering attacks are notoriously difficult to prevent because they rely on human psychology. So only if human changes, human has to change from greed. It's my perspective, okay? If human nature is changed from greed, right? These steps of social engineering attacks can be avoided. One thing. Another things, if a human can change their nature, that means fearing for the people who is there to help us, police, then income tax officers, or anybody who is there to help us. It's not that they are our boss, right? So that mind setup should be that when a police or when a higher level people, we got a call, or from the cyber crime. Nowadays, I am getting messages from cyber cell saying that your things are like that, you are involved in this and all. So first day when I just see the message, I was get little bit scared, feared, and I called my household people and said that such type of messages have come from the cyber wing of India, like that. As a servant, government servant, right? When I see this message, then immediately I thought I have to report to my office. But after that only, I just came back to my original thing and I just refer that down by seeing all those things. It is a fake message. It's like a phishing, right? Then if we respond and like that, then they will hook in some other matters or something like that repeatedly. Then after that, I came to know that these messages are coming repeatedly, and our environment is a very secure environment there. But even in the secure environment, in our own IST, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology webmail, these informations are coming. You see that how they are so powerful to send these informations, right? And nowadays, another type of phishing is also coming. Our higher profile people's names will be coming, and it will say that they want immediately help. So you just immediately send some money to them or immediately call them, or like that. Some messages will be coming. Hope you might have also encountered these types of security, right? Yes or no? These types of messages have you encountered? Yes, then sometimes one fine morning, I have also received a message saying that a registrar, he's a senior scientist of ISRO, and he is, when I'm in the airport or some outside, when I just surf through my net, Gmail, and this message has come saying that immediately he needs help, call. So when our human mind won't work critically, because we are not people who are criminal bosses, right? We are normal human beings. We won't think in that way. We'll be thinking in a genuine fashion like that. But nowadays, because of the lot of these types of activities are taking place, our mind should also be think critically to help us, right? Not to punish or penalize other people. When you're saying about cyber security environment, always we should have a confidence. We have to build our uh, uh, side walls, right? Very strong by thinking in a critical way that first when we see such type of mails, 1 minute or 1 second, we should give you a gap and think on that. Is it like that? Sometimes people will be responding immediately. This context I'm telling with respect to social, right? We are saying clearly, it says social engineering attacks are notoriously difficult to prevent because of they rely on human psychology rather than technological pathways. That attack surface is also significant. Okay. Security awareness training, access control policies are also used for social engineering defense, okay, authentications, zero trust security approach that we'll see. Next, third type of attacks is, so my cell is coming on, where it is coming, okay. So other type of attack is advanced persistent threats, okay. What are the advanced persistent threats? Advanced persistent threats represents a sophisticated and prolonged form of cyber attack, often associated with nation-state actors. So APT attacks differ from traditional web application threats in that these attacks are more complex, right? It requires some 3 different steps to get this attack. Okay. So we are saying that it is having infiltration, extraction, expansion. So this is put in this slide, right? The diagram, right? So they are significantly more complex. They are not hit and run attacks. Once a network is infiltrated, so first the network is infiltrated. Initial infiltrations, right? Right? In Tamil, we'll be saying, no? So slowly they will give some poisons like that, they will go, right? Then they will attack. White noise, normally white noise means we know it is everywhere, all frequencies. It will be there, right? Then the perpetrator remains in order to attain as much information as possible. They are manually executed, not automated, against a specific mark and indiscriminately launched against a large pool of targets. They often aim to infiltrate an entire network as opposed to one specific part, okay? So earlier we have seen a small code. So a small code will be just making it corrupting, but here it is an entire network, right? So we are making it. So this is a very important thing because it corrupts the entire network. It makes the network to get into deadlock, right? So next is IoTs, IoT attacks. IoT is also one type of cyber crime threat, right? Cyber threat. Insecure IoT devices. This is the main thing because IoT devices, we are using many of the IoT devices, but we are not sure that whether it is a secured or insecure. So that also enters into cyber criminals. So IoT ecosystems continue to grow, addressing security vulnerabilities in device design, deployment, and maintenance, right? In this also we can say now edge devices, right? Our mobiles, any cyber physical systems which has the IoTs, sensors, all these things, large scale attacks are possible, right? Which eradicate something, it will create some life loss also, okay? Next important thing is that supply chain attacks. Anybody can say what is supply chain attacks? Definition I am just saying here. You can discuss, you can tell. From the name itself, we can say supply chain. So it is coming from, right? A supply chain attack. Suppose if we are using a third-party tools or services in our supply chain, okay? A supply chain attack uses third-party tools or services collectively referred to as supply chain, okay? It is not from a single party. Somebody is providing some systems or a framework which consists of, they are providing a solution, key turn projects, right? Right? Single turnkey projects. Turnkey projects means what? Suppose nowadays, now you see that I'm just telling in a good example that event management, right? It is not a supply chain, event management, you see? Marriage. Earlier, when we are arranging for a marriage function in our home, what we will do? We will be planning for everything and we know whom to call, which person are for the food preparation, for the decoration and all those things. We know and we will be doing, right? It is a discrete thing. So it is not supply chain, it won't come, but it will be coming as an independent one. But now today we are giving everything as an event management. In event management, what we will do? We know only one person, right? Who is supplying, to who is offering this event. And we only will be contacting that person to make the things to be done properly. Yes or no? Yes. But inside that, who are all will be having that event management? The the person who is making the cook, right? The chief cook or like that, right? Chef, right? The chef and the other decorations and festive, those things, right? Stage decorations and all those things. These two people are two people from different environment. So different tools, we are just putting it in the chain, and as a simple chain, it will be given to us. Right? So it's easy for the attackers because we don't know one-to-one. But what they will do is that here you see, to infiltrate a target systems or network, these attacks are sometimes called value chain attacks or third-party attacks. An attacker might target a cybersecurity vendor and add malicious code. So where he is targeting the event manager, cybersecurity vendor. And in that vendor itself, he is adding malicious code. It can be a malware, it can be a Trojan, okay? So any type of ware, whatever wares we have learned earlier, right? So that they can make it sent out in the system update to the vendor's clients. So we don't know. Vendor will be receiving that is from this person. But inside that supply chain, in the supply chain itself, the attack is made. Right? So this is a famous attack. You can also refer what is this. Okay, example of this supply chain attack is SolarWind attacks. Okay, it's a company that you can refer it because when I referred in the literature, it is given in a good example that recently only, not 2024, but recently only it has happened, right? So supply chain attacks can be browser-based attacks, software attacks, open source attacks, JavaScript attacks, Matchcart attacks, watering hole attacks, cryptojacking. So many things are there that can be of that cryptography. That means not crypto, that cyber security. In that itself, they are making some malicious things and there. Okay, how to defend against supply chain attacks? Run a third-party risk assessment. This is very much implemented, right? So implement zero trust. Also, we are just saying it is a technique. Okay, so implement, that means we can say that adopt browser isolation. So these are people, computer science people, maybe they know what these are the basic things nowadays in any network environment, right? So people are doing this. This zero trust is architecture itself, right? That means we are saying that no one is trusted. Zero trust means that is the idea. Okay. So if no one is trusted, no one is given the access control will be given by verification and validation separately for each person, even though he has made this network and all those things he knows, right? But it is implement zero trust. So how to defend against supply chain attacks? Because the supply chain attacks will be of huge loss. Sometimes if a person is buying that and installing it, and it will be creating these attacks, right? Whole loss will be there, more losses and all those things will be there, right? So we are saying. So these are the many things we are saying here, right? Next is that advanced threat detection. It's not techniques. Okay. So we have threat detections. Normally what we will do is that, let me see. Basic block diagram of threat detection is, first thing is that we have to monitor. So that is, monitor means keep on monitoring. It's a closed loop, right? A network or any cyber physical system, right? Or a cyberspace, okay? Or we can say ICT, that need to be keep on monitored. Once it is monitored, then we have to detect. If it is detected, then suitable information need to be sent to the respective central networking systems of that particular organization or institute. And we have to take necessary decisions. Before taking the necessary decisions or response, with the deduction need to be validated. So that's why it's very important here. The deduction is very much important. Respond, because the deduction is directly followed by respond. Suppose if I'm not deducting it properly, then responding will make wrong decisions on that. Sometimes it won't be able to revoke, or it may go into wrong, even though it is working fine. Sometimes it will be creating a problem. Okay. So threat detection technique is the practice of identifying any malicious activity that could compromise the network, composing a proper response to mitigate or neutralize the threat before it can exploit any present vulnerability. So any threat detections we are having, this is the actual block diagram. Okay. So you see that first segment of threat detection requires understanding your environment and the potential threat it faces. So now we have studied about the different types of threats, right? Social engineering threats we have studied. So we know the applications. So then we can say whether it is coming from the social engineering threat or is malware simply by putting the softwares inside the codes or like that. Okay. Advanced threats or like that if it is there. supply chain threats. So first we have to understand the possibility of what are the potential threat for this system. It will happen. Then we have to make suitable methods, firewalls, we can say, antivirus of. These are the basic things that will be done. If you want a 2-level authentications, then we'll be putting 2-level authentication. If you want a more secure environment, then again we'll be building the things in the right. We are not talking about network layers. Network layers, there will be a separate security layer. There will be building all those things, right? So we can say deduction, right? So this is monitor, detect, respond. So the simple, in this we will be saying in cybersecurity or in data mining, those things and all, right? We'll be having a deduction. Here we are using the word intrusion deduction. Okay, so internet is there, firewall is there, an intrusion reduction system is there in that firewall. Switch, then it will be given to routers and all those things. Okay, so now you see from the cloud data, we are taking this and getting in the remote workstation. So now from this internet, right? Cloud also it's coming under the internet. So this is the normal thing. So now we'll be, when you are getting the data, we have to use these informations, these, right? These things, and we'll be making it. Intrusion deduction systems. Now you see what is the intrusion deduction systems. I got a picture from the net only. Okay. Now you see that this is one of the way. This is one way that how we will detect. I am using the word here, types of intrusion deduction system. Can you anyone comment on this figure? Yeah, I have put this as an example for intrusion deduction. Anything? Any people have addressed that? Yes, good. So, okay. So 9:30. So I'll finish it. Okay, 5 minutes. A deviation from normal. Yes. Okay, anomaly. You see the figure. This only we have to identify. Okay, so this big image is very captivating, and really it will explain things easily, right? These are all human beings. It is of normal height and these things. Okay, now see this difference. It's an anomaly, right? So intrusion deduction system follows one type of method, that is anomaly deduction. If something happens in an odd man out way, rare way. So anomaly deduction is the process of analyzing a data set and identifying single occurrence or patterns that deviates significantly from baseline activity. Okay. Another one type of intrusion deduction system is misuse or signature deduction approaches. Patterns of well-known attacks are used to identify intrusions here. Signature deduction approaches. Patterns of well-known attacks are used to identify intrusions. So this we want signatures. Already we should have a patterns of signatures, the possibility of all intrusions. Then this will work fine. Okay. This is a very tedious process because you see, occurrence of patterns that deviate significantly means a comparison is required. We have statistical approaches, non-statistical approaches. Nowadays, we are using this anomaly deduction using machine learning and artificial intelligence. Okay. So now I'll go to the next same thing. I'm continuing, right? There are different types of anomalies. So I have taken this from this slide. Okay. CrowdStrike, right? An individual data point significantly deviates from the rest of the data set, which is the norm of the device. Norm, mathematically norm, point anomalies. So you see an example of point anomaly may be sudden spike in network traffic. So this is we should we should know that we will be having a statistics that what is the possible network traffic for the past 1 month or 2 months. But when you're suddenly watching it, irrespective of the requirement or like that, number of people which was connected is less, but it has drawn huge network traffic. So that is an anomaly. Contextual anomalies. and it's an individual data point that differs from the rest of data set, right? But only with a specific context. For example, you see, if a user logs into a system during non-business hours or from an IP address that does not match their geographic location, that may be a contextual anomaly. Collective anomalies. A collective anomaly is when a group of related data points collectively deviate from the expected pattern, even though individual data points may fall within normal and acceptable use. For example, a sudden surge in network traffic from a variety of IP addresses may indicate a coordinated attack and would be an example of collective anomaly. Okay. So I will just make this only 3 and I will stop. Okay. Types of anomaly detection: graphical, distance-based model. Graphical and statistical model we can see because it will make us to recollect what we have learned in our thing. This I am not going for. Okay. Anomaly detection. You see, graphical approach, box plot, scatter plot, spin plot are used. You see, there is an anomaly, outlier. This is an anomaly. This is, I have taken a one-dimensional data mining. Okay, data mining, similar concept here in network we can use for you to understand. Time consuming and subjective. Now you see next one. Statistical approaches. You see, we'll be seeing the data distribution. Okay, parameter of distribution. What is mean variance? Then we'll be defining that possible number of expected outliers. Right, based on this 95% of confidence limit is here. Deviation will be 2.5%, 2.5. Statistical based approaches, we have likelihood approach is one of the important approach, right? We are using this. These are all very crude conventional ways. If you are having a good data, and if you know the distributions, that is an important thing. In statistical approach, if you are sure that the patterns or the data what we are having, which is coming or going to come, is having this normal distribution or a Gaussian distributions are like that, then we are sure we can able to do this type of analysis. It will be give 100%, it will be giving a proper deduction. Otherwise, it won't give, right? So distance-based approach is another one method. A one-to-one distance metric will be calculating. Difference is there means we'll use that. Okay. So 3 major approaches: nearest neighbor method, density-based method, clustering-based method. So limitations of statistical approach. Most of the tests are of single attribute. In many cases, data distribution may be not known. For multi-dimensional data, it may be difficult to estimate the true distributions. So these are the limitations. Okay. Okay, this is, we are saying this is the nearest neighbor approach, right? Cluster-based approach. Okay. So now we are saying that from ideas to advanced thread deduction, right? Network deduction. Now, instead of intrusion deductions, now we are having, it's not graphical approach. Instead of ideas, we are having now NDS, network deduction systems, okay? Which has included all types of attacks, not only intrusion deductions, full entire network it will be. So whatever I have told here, sorry, right, it is given here. Having 2 more slides. So nowadays, instead of thread deductions, we are also using the concept of thread hunting. Okay, hunting, you know what is hunting? Already it is there. We have to use a suitable weapon and the right direction to shot that particular, if it is an animal or if it is a bird or like that, in our hand, we should have a suitable technique. And using the suitable technique, we have to use an expert to use that technique to rightly shot the particular animal or a bird, then we will be getting hunting, right? Same concept, we are using it here. Okay. So that is called. So these are the different threat hunting. Threat intelligence is also there nowadays. Okay. Everywhere intelligence is now added. Next comes that I want to just show you machine learning. In statistical approaches, the data are not good, not distributed. Nearest time may be consumed. Computation complexity is high. Clustering also, if the mean data is not proper, the base, whatever means we are taking is not proper, then clustering won't be good, right? That are all good when we are having known that probability distribution of the data, if you know, that will be good. right? But nowadays we are using ML. It's giving good, yes, right? The data, mainly the data-driven technology. This is okay. And one more concept I have to say this is not only for security redaction we are using. Advisories are also using to study the environment nowadays. That is an important thing. They are making their own environment first. They are studying that what are the possibilities, generating the data, and building an machine learning or an artificial intelligence networks and to intrude and make malwares, spywares, whatever, right? Phishing, okay, advanced threat, IoTs to damage that, all those things we are. So here today we have to talk about, that's why network intrusion reduction systems, okay? Machine learning and all, it is there. So here, this is to reduce false alarm rate and increase threat detection accuracy, deep learning is used in developing a more advanced field of NDS. So this is my last slide, I think so, yes. So I have ended up with, even though good statistical methods are there, we have seen the basics, and now people are making some good threat detection techniques by using this artificial machine learning augmented with statistical methods. It's hybrid only, not a pure thing, completely replacing the statistical methods. With that, thank you. The references and all I have put it in the slides itself, okay? Mostly from net and also from few of the informations from the papers I have taken. So with that, I can conclude my session, so we can have any feedback like that, we can take it. Have you got some information? Okay, thank you. It's done. Okay, thank you.
One query is in
Question
chat
is
box, ma'am.
Where? Yeah, that I
threat
threat hunting tool.
Yes, yes.
There is no specific hunting tools. Okay, different companies, Cisco, if you see, IBM, if you are saying, they are having their own hunting tools for their network. So we have to build actually. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Shall I conclude session? Shall I make?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you for the
Thank you,
organizers to
ma'am.
call me. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your spending valuable time with us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
much.
Your session is highly informative, and the
Okay.
basics, fundamentals also
Okay. Thank you.
given. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am. Lucy, ma'am. Share the feedback link. Everyone should fill the session link. Dr. J. Shivaran. அதிலே அப்டேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Okay, I conclude the session. Thank you all participants for today's session. Thank you for your time with us. Kindly fill the feedback form and complete it by now itself. Yeah, choose Sheba ma'am for second section. You have to select the name as Dr. J. Sheba Rani and submit it. No, 92. Prabhakaran sir, once again share the feedback form, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. All you can leave. If you have completed the feedback form, then you can leave. For session 1, you have to select the Meenakshi Soundri and then submit. For session 2, you have to select Dr. J. Sibarani and then submit. Complete the two feedback forms today. Tomorrow session will start at 6 p.m. Okay.